So tell me a little bit about a DSS relationship within the embassy. So I've talked to other DEA guys and the State Department guys in general, at least this is what a couple of them told me, view the DEA guys as kind of knuckle
Yeah.
draggers and they're doing something else. You're in a different situation where you're there to protect them. Do they appreciate that or do they talk down to you? What's your relationship as a DSS guy with those guys, with
Well,
State Department people?
it's funny you mentioned DEA because like I said, I talk about it in my book. I had two DEA agents and a DEA intel analyst working in Peshawar, and they had been there longer than me. So I get off the plane and I met with these guys. We had an American club in Peshawar that we would go have a few beers and whatever. And I think I met them there maybe 2 or 3 days into my arrival there, and I'm like, okay, these guys, good bunch of guys. And they became good friends, and we talk a lot. And I heard stories about DEA busting doors because you see the movies and books about Colombia and Mexico, whatever. These guys, yeah, they could do that, but they fit in nicely into the pattern of life in Peshawar. They were just every bit the diplomat that I was. They met with local police officials. They met with provincial politicians because they were working with the Pakistanis to eliminate the heroin, the poppy crop in the tribal areas of Pakistan. So my experience with DEA guys was maybe not typical. Seeing when I started Peshawar, I'm assuming if you went to Bogota, it would be the same thing.
But my question was more related to you. So I think you're kind of a hybrid where you have this military experience,
Right.
you're an investigator, or anything else. You have obviously the ability to get along with the military guys, get along with the DEA guys, but the State Department guys that are a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more diplomatic.
Okay.
Did you get along with those guys? Did they like you?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now, yeah, the Foreign Service officers. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. There's a lot of Foreign Service officers who look down on DSS agents, and there was a little bit of a antagonistic relationship in some regard, but there were others who weren't like that. And again, as DSS agents, we got to remember that we're there to provide security, but we're also there to facilitate diplomacy. We want to make it so that our diplomats can operate in country X, Y, or Z safely and effectively. So it's incumbent upon us to get to know them, and to work with them, and not just say no all the time. You just can't say no all the time. You can, but the way I worked that out in my career was I would do the advance work. If our political officer wanted to meet a Pakistani politician in the tribal area, okay, where you want to meet them? Okay, they're going to be here. So me and my Foreign Service national investigator, Tarek, we would go out and advance those sites. And then I would be able to come back and say, okay, it's a little dicey out there, but under these circumstances, yeah, we can work out a situation where you can go there and meet with this person.
Yeah.
And when you start doing stuff like that, you get credibility, and you build credibility. And when the Foreign Service officers at the consulate or embassy see you doing that, then you develop respect with each other. And when you do say no, they're going to be like, you know what, Steve doesn't always say no. Steve has gone to these other places and said, yeah, we can do work there, but now he's saying no. So you know what? Maybe he's right.